the JLC Reverso or the Cartier Tank. These are two watches people always compare or ask me to do a comparison video about, but they really couldn't be any more different. Sure, they're both rectangular, and that's kind of niche in the watch space, but that's where the similarities begin and end. Today we're going to be looking at the differences between these two. I will probably go on a rant at some point about people comparing these models, and which one might be right for you if you're in the market for a dress watch. If you're new here, hi, my name is Brittany, and on this channel we just talk about watches in a hopefully not pretentious and joyful way. I'm so excited to be making this video. These are two of my all-time favorite watches from two of my all-time favorite manufacturers. Comparing the Cartier Tank and the JLC Reverso, because they're both rectangular and dressy, makes as much sense as comparing the Rolex Submariner to the Omega Speedmaster because they're both round and sporty. These are two fundamentally different watches with very different wearing experiences and built for different purposes. So this is my personal Cartier Tank. This was my first ever nice watch and started this whole watch collecting madness for me. This was my one watch collection for quite some time, so it's got lots of scratches, it's missing its cabochon, which I really need to send off and get fixed. It's just one of those things I'm weirdly lazy about. But since mine is so beat up and not aesthetically pleasing anymore, we're going to be using my husband's tank in this video. So he has the Cartier Tank Must in large. This watch has a case size of 33.7mm by 25.5mm and a thickness of 6.6mm. Now, large in Cartier Tank land is pretty up for debate. By modern standards, this is a pretty wee watch, but a Cartier Tank isn't supposed to wear like a Panerai. It is meant to wear small and thin. So here it is on my husband's 6.75-inch wrist according to him, but I believe it's probably closer to 6.5-inch wrist, but we won't argue about it, and my 5.5-inch wrist. I think it is the slightest bit large on me, but absolutely perfect on him. The tank is a lot more versatile than people give it credit for. You just have to be confident in the outfit and trust the process. I love the way the tank looks in sweats as much as I love the way it looks dressed up. Don't get me wrong, this is still an out-and-out dress watch with only 2 hands, Roman numerals, splash-proof with only 30 meters of water resistance, but I think if you're not too afraid of being unknowingly pushed into a pool, you're going to be alright. It'll even be alright if you get pushed into the pool, but we can argue about that in the comment section.
Round 1, fight!
When you compare the tank and the Reverso, I would definitely say that the Reverso has the sporty edge. It is the more sporty option of the two, but I find it difficult to quantify why. This watch has a case size of 40mm by 24.4mm and a thickness of 7.6mm. Inside this watch is the manual winding Jaeger-LeCoultre caliber 822A movement, giving you 42 hours of power reserve. Like the tank, this watch has all the markers of a dress watch. Once again, only 2 hands, some freaking lovely guilloche, and 30 meters of water resistance. Art Deco inspiration, but I think the functionality of this watch makes it blur those watch category lines. So the Reverso's unique selling point is that the dial is reversible. So you can slide the case and have the case back there, or alternatively in some models it is another dial. The origins of the Reverso are somewhat charming and somewhat unsavory all at the same time. In the 1930s, there were British Army officers stationed in India who played polo in their downtime, but they needed a watch that could keep up with the rugged and tough game. This led to the birth of the Reverso. So you could turn your watch over to the closed side while you were playing your game, and turn it back around if you needed to know the time. The origins of this watch always make me feel some kind of way. On the one hand, colonization, ick, gross, don't want to talk about it on my watch channel. Polo, the game of, can I say wankers? Because it is the game of wankers. But from all these gross things came a really awesome watch. Hi guys, Editing Brittany here. I've been looking back at this and overthinking if I say anything or not. I just know I'm gonna get comments of people who are like, this video was good until she tried to get all woke on us. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to cancel JLC. I want a Reverso still, but it's impossible to separate the Reverso's heritage with British officers in India. Yikes. Still love the Reverso. Human history is just complicated and messy, and sometimes awesome things still come out of gross situations. The tank also comes with great heritage. So this watch was designed and created by Louis Cartier in 1917, inspired by the new Renault tanks used on the Western Front. You can definitely see the design influence in the Caterpillar tracks. The Renault was a revolutionary tank at that time, lightweight with a fully rotating turret. With the innovative new tank being used as inspiration for Louis Cartier, he designed a watch that has truly stood the test of time, which is actually incredible. Like when you think of the clothing people used to wear in 1917, no one dresses like that. No one has cars they need to wind anymore, and no one goes to silent movies. All these things didn't stand the test of time, but this watch design did. Also, Kool-Aid was invented around this time, and Reese's peanut butter cups. Some things are built to last. Okay, back on topic. Why is my brain like this? So one thing we can't ignore between these two is the prices. I talked about this before, and I'm sure I'll talk about it again. JLC has had some insane price hikes, and I'm watching myself slowly getting priced out of the manufacturer. So the cheapest Reverso monoface, quartz movement stainless steel right now costs £6,700, which is insane. Okay, this is an unreasonable price for what you're getting. I'm sorry, JLC lovers. Whereas the cheapest tank you can buy is actually a small stainless steel solar beat for £2,800. Even if we forget about the small, because the small is quite small, the large model solar beat sells for £2,940. A much cooler movement, equally iconic watch, with brand cachet to boot, for half the price. This is a big deal. Jaeger-LeCoultre prices are breaking my heart. And this is as someone who is always cheering on the brand, who loves them, who's actively saving for a Reverso. But man, they're making it hard.
That's what she said.
In conclusion, my official answer to Reverso or tank is secret option number 3. Both. You can't go wrong with either of these, and both of them are worth owning. I personally think you could love, appreciate, and wear these for such different occasions. You could have both. If it was me and my collection, I think the Reverso would get a little bit more wear time because it's so casual, and I'd keep my tank for when I want to look real fancy. But anyways, guys, those are just some of my thoughts for the JLC Reverso versus the Cartier tank. I'd love to know all of yours in those comments down below. Also, if you're new here, I feel like I should explain this more than I do. I used to explain this a lot, but I don't as much anymore. I'm a Canadian who lives in the UK, so if you think, why is her accent so weird? That's why. I felt really insecure about my voice in this video, so... do all those things to feed the algorithm gods. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's thank the Pope tier patrons. Thank you. Thank you, Pope tier patrons. Ooh, you're all the best. Thank you. Thank you, Pope tier patrons. You're the greatest. The best patrons. Well, all the patrons are the best patrons.